All right, thank you. At this time, we will recall to order the regular meeting of the Suffern Central Board of Education for Tuesday, February 6, 2024. Let the record reflect all board members are present with the exception of Mr. Paul Shapiro. Please rise for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, and I apologize for keeping you all waiting tonight. 1.07, student report.
Hi, everyone. I know it's been a couple weeks, but you guys didn't miss much. There's a few things going on this week at the high school. Today, all of the seniors had an assembly at lunch to learn about scholarship opportunities. There's over 70, and there's really something for everyone. Our guidance counselors walked us through it, and those applications are due around March. The first paper airplane challenge for Science Honor Society is on Thursday, and they always have some fun activities going on. On Monday, the 12th, we have the elective fair, which goes through all of the opportunities that students have to find out what they're interested in. Just some examples are baking, forensics, athletic training, all of the music and arts classes. And there's a lot of hands-on experiences and classes like that are unique to the high school. On Tuesday, the 13th, our forensic speech and debate team is holding a tournament in the library. Also on the 13th, high school AVID students are going to the middle schoolers to talk about the program that the high school offers. Wednesday, the 14th, is the Quarter 2 Mountie Pride Awards at lunch. It's when students are noticed by teachers for their growth, progress, and kindness. And then Thursday, the 22nd, USO is partnering with the Maddie Nickpong Foundation, and they're hosting the blood drive in the cafeteria, and all donors are welcome. That's it.
Thank you. 1.08, minutes of the regular meeting of December 19th, 2023. Do I have a motion? Ms. Dickman? Second? Ms. Hodge? All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 All those against? Any abstentions? 1.09 is the minutes of the special meeting of January 17th, 2024. Do I have a motion? Mr. Frazier? Second? Mrs. Hodge? All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 All those against? Any abstentions? Dr. Nickpong abstains. All right, thank you. 1.10, superintendent comments.
Thank you very much. Welcome back, everyone. I know we had some weather-related issues back in January, so it's been quite some time since we met for a regular board meeting. And at our last scheduled meeting, we were supposed to have our Heroes and Cool Kids come and share the work that they're doing with our Board of Education, but we had to postpone that. But I'm very happy to share that they are here this evening, and I'm going to ask them to come up in just a moment to do a brief presentation about the great work that they do. But first, let me tell you a little bit about Heroes and Cool Kids. It's a student leadership and mentoring program that enlists high school students, otherwise known as heroes, to mentor middle school students, the cool kids, throughout the entire district. The heroes are selected based on their standout academic achievement, their extracurricular participation, and most importantly, their great character. They visit with younger students to share experiences that they've had throughout their lives and to facilitate a program that's geared on helping students make better, healthier choices that will lead to a more positive future. And here to tell us more about the program and what they've been doing this year are board members Ashley and Tanner. Ashley and Tanner, if you can come on up and share with us. As they're coming up to the podium, I'd like to acknowledge the two advisors to the program, Mr. Rahman and Ms. Samora. Thank you very much, Mr. Rahman. Tanner, take it away. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tanner Newman. I'm a senior at Suffern High School. I am a co-president of representing the Heroes and Cool Kids Club. Today we're here to talk about Heroes and Cool Kids. It is a national organization that spreads the awareness and prepares the middle school kids about the challenges and the life of being a teenager in high school, which can mostly be a pretty hard time. So our chapter selects juniors and seniors only through an interview process and to become part of this program. And in these interview, these kids kind of have to talk about what they do academic-wise, extracurricular, what they do for the community, and that's kind of how we base off of how good they'll be being a good representation for the middle schoolers. So us heroes, we go on 3 trainings, kind of just to learn what we're going to do for the visits. And then after these 3 trainings each, we go to the middle school. And as you can see, we visit these classes about 3 times a year. And we talk about different things, showing character, talk about bullying, etc. And we kind of just want to be a good representation for these kids. So yeah, Heroes and Cool Kids is a great and incredible way to give back to our community, and I love it. I loved it when I was in middle school, and I'm glad I'm part of it now. So yeah, thank you for letting me share us a little bit more of our program. This was Heroes and Cool Kids.
Hola, buenas noches. Mi nombre es Ashley. Estoy en el grado 12 de la escuela secundaria de Suffern. Mis compañeros y yo pertenecemos al programa Club Heroes and Cool Kids y estamos aquí para hablarle parte del programa y nuestro propósito. Para ser parte del programa tienes que estar en el grado 11 y 12, ser entrevistado y basado en la entrevista son elegidos para ser mentores en la escuela Suffern Middle School. Nosotros contestamos preguntas que tengan acerca de la escuela o de la vida para ayudarlos a tomar las mejores decisiones. Nosotros visitamos la escuela 3 veces al año con diferentes lecciones que nos enseñan a nosotros durante el entrenamiento y se lo mostramos a ustedes como ejemplo. Hablamos de la resiliencia, del carácter y construyendo la fortaleza. Gracias por tu atención. Que tenga una buena noche.
Gracias. Thank you very much to both of you. And thank you to the Heroes and Cool Kids and all your fellow board members for being here. You want to say something? Go ahead. You can come up to the podium. Oh, I thought you wanted to say something. You look so excited to contribute one more thing. Very nice. Very nice.
I'm back. So as you can see here, we sold pink lanyards to spread awareness, and 50% of the donations is going to the Solzberg Food Pantry. So that was a cool little thing we did. And it was during the handball game, so after you would leave, you would kind of just go over and pick one up. I know a lot of my friends did. Another thing we did last year about Heroes and Cool Kids is we went to Cherry Lane towards the end of the year. And I thought that was a really cool addition because usually we're just, it was right there. We usually just go to the middle school is what this program is. But I think when we went to elementary school, a lot of the kids really liked it and they asked a lot more questions because they're more curious. But I think it was a great idea, and I think that we should spread that and make it more of a common thing for Heroes and Cool Kids, maybe for the middle schoolers to run it, and it can be more of a role model, so the standard sets throughout. But yeah, thank you.
Very good, Tanner. And you bring up a good point about getting to the elementary schools, and you're right. Elementary school students do ask a lot more questions. But one of the nice things next year is that it'll be logistically easier for Heroes and Cool Kids, or the heroes, to get to the elementary schools, particularly if we focus on the grades 3 through 5 level, because there'll be 2 places as opposed to 5 individual schools for you to go to. So that's a great idea that we can take back. And I just have to say, I love the outreach that you do, and the fact that you referenced that you had a great experience as a middle schooler, seeing high school students come to you and share what they go through and really look up to them as role models. And now they have that opportunity to look up to all of you is beautiful. And I want to pay particular attention to the fact that I love that, Ashley, you came here and spoke Spanish, because I know that one of the things we're working on doing more and more is making sure that our Spanish-speaking students at the middle school have that same type of experience where they can look to high schoolers as heroes who speak their primary language and can identify with them and become inspired to move from the middle school up to the high school. And that being a Spanish speaker who's learning English right now is just as much of a part of the Suffern Central School community as a student who's always been speaking English. So well done, and thanks for representing the Spanish-speaking population tonight by presenting to us in Spanish. Thank you so much. We're going to make a pivot over to a different presentation right now. It's been a little bit of time since we last met as a board and had a regular meeting because of that weather situation in January. And so I've asked Mr. Pat Breen, who is overseeing all the logistics that go into play in our elementary school restructuring program, to come and give our Board of Education and the public a bit of an overview and a status report, if you will, thus the title of your slide,
Yes.
on the elementary school restructuring. And I just want to thank you for all the work that you're doing, along with our administrators, select teachers, and staff members that have really been working diligently over the past several months to get to the point where we are right now, and there's certainly more work to be done. So I'm going to turn over the presentation to you, Mr. Breen. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gunderson, members of the Board of Education and our community. Just want to provide some focus on the work we've been doing over the past 3 months. And I'm just going to frame it in the area of staffing, some of the planning and feedback we've been doing, and logistics and communication. So those 3 buckets are what I'm going to address this evening. So as you can imagine, staffing plays a major role in a restructure of a district our size, and nothing could really move forward in this plan until we had everybody in the right area, in the right position, et cetera. So we spent most of November through the end of December framing the leadership of our elementary school buildings, as well as the teacher assignments, which we shared with them toward the end of December. And knowing that this is a piece that will be refined over the rest of the year due to retirements and things of that nature. But I want to underscore the most important piece was that all of this was done under the mantra, if you will, of student need, right? Student need and our program needs, and putting people in the right areas to support the students at the various buildings. So that was a lot of work, and we think came out very well. With respect to progress, one of the best pieces of our planning thus far, we put together a teacher transition team. And again, we said at the onset we would do this as a way to make sure that we were seeing and hearing everything that was happening so that we wouldn't make mistakes in terms of overestimating or underestimating and getting the proper perspective from the building level. And so the way we did that was we selected representatives or volunteers, if you will, who represent the teachers in all 5 elementaries, and they meet with me weekly, and we go through everything related to logistics, the scheduling, identifying staff, and of course student needs. As we're moving through this process, we really want nothing to go unnoticed or unheard. So that voice has been very powerful. It's been very good in terms of bringing feedback to us as we make decisions this year. At the same time, sort of juxtaposed to that, we have the principals restructuring workshops, which started in January, and we're meeting weekly as well. And these are the 4 focus areas, if you will, that we've defined with them. Again, a very collaborative process, knowing that school events and calendar planning are very important moving forward, not just for this year, but for next year, right? So we're almost working in 2 spaces at the same time. Student life, leadership, and culture. As you know, we want to make sure that what the experiences on each grade level is not maybe the same, but very similar and consistent throughout the district. So that's one area this collaborative work supports, as well as staff culture and the well-being of our students, and then creating some orientation and transition activities for our students this year as well as next year. So a lot of that work happening now, and very good, I should say. I'm very proud of the collaborative nature and spirit that everybody is bringing to the table in this area. The more back end, we have the logistics planning. So our buildings and grounds team, we've set up our teams for each of the buildings. We have our dates, we're color coding. We have a great system already set up for the actual physical move of our equipment, of our needs. Also assessing any other additional needs a building or a classroom might need, as well as, again, project planning and working with the individual buildings to make sure that all gets done. So again, a lot of logistical work going on with buildings and grounds that for the most part will happen over the summer for moving the equipment and the technology and all those classroom equipments that get moved. And last but not least, certainly communication is key in this process. So again, providing periodic updates to faculty and community members, mostly around this, almost, if you will, creating a timeline And I think that information will now pick up a little bit more in terms of being in the second half of the year as we get closer to the end of the year. As a reminder, we have information available on the district homepage. Again, that's a restructuring website. It's right on the main label, and that everything is updated there consistently. And we've also added just this past week a school locator lookup. So my next slide will just show how that works. You type your address into the address bar, and you get the pairing, if you will, or the catchment zone for the location. So I typed in Suffern High School. I'm biased, right? And Suffern High School would fall into the Cherry Lane R.P. Connor catchment zone. So again, it was very accurate. We invite anyone that is unsure of their catchment zone or what school pairing to use this. It's on the homepage as well. And we will be sending that out. It went out already. You should be receiving it in the mail, a link to that site, as well as some other information, just summarizing some of the restructuring work we've already done. And you can expect also a welcome communication coming from the elementary principals around February 16th. And so we continue, obviously, to complete our planning for the events this year and then work toward next year. So.
Thank you very much, Mr. Breen. I'd like to ask if there are any board members that may have questions for Mr. Breen in the presentation. Appreciate the comprehensive overview of a lot of work that's been done. I think you just mentioned it, but I just want to reiterate that letter that's being physically mailed home is also going to be emailed out to parents tomorrow morning. So you can expect in your email inbox an email from the district with the links that you just described to get that information. With more information coming from the principals in just a little bit under 2 weeks. Any questions from board members for Mr. Breen?
I have a question. Thank you. I'm curious about the spring events. Can you talk a little bit about what that will look like? Will the students travel to the schools that they're going to attend, or is it still up for discussion?
Yes. So that's being all planned. That's definitely going to happen. I think it's going to happen more toward June after testing, and so there's no conflict with that. But the students will definitely have an opportunity to visit the schools, and they're planning some other things as well for families as well to come in and visit the schools, meet the teams, the grade level teams, the teachers, and things of that nature. So all that's on deck.
And one of the things we're also happy to share is that on that welcome communication from the principals on February 16th, part of that communication will also include all the staff members that are going to be in each of those 4 elementary schools. So for those families that are wondering, hey, who are going to be the 4th grade teachers, or who's going to be the school psychologist, or who's going to be the secretary in the front office, all that will be listed, and you'll see many familiar names. As well as for those folks that are coming from Viola, there are going to be folks from Viola all across the district in the 4 elementary schools. So look forward to that communication on the 16th.
Any other board member questions? All right. Mr. Breen, thank you.
Thank you very much, Pat. And just to conclude the superintendent's report, I'd like to share to the board and the public as well that we are continuing our work with regards to making substantive changes with how we provide non-public transportation for our students who take advantage of schools besides the Suffern Central Public Schools. We have a meeting with representatives of our non-public community along with a few members of our transportation committee. It's going to be taking place later in February. That meeting will also include some legislative representatives to the state of New York who represent our area as well, as they're working on some advocacy issues as it pertains to transportation and funding and things of that nature. So we're moving forward in that as well, and I hope to have some real results to be able to share in March after that meeting. Thus concludes the superintendent's report.
All right, thank you. And again, thank you, Mr. Breen, for your presentation, and thank you to our Heroes and Cool Kids for coming tonight and for speaking tonight about just the great work that you guys do. It's really wonderful. Thank you. 1.11 public participation. This is public participation on action items only. If there's anybody who wishes to speak on any of the action items tonight, you can please approach the podium. Right. Seeing as there are none, we'll close that portion of the meeting and move to our action items. Tonight, we have action items 2.01 through 2.16. I'll call for a consent agenda Is there any action anybody wishes to pull from a consent agenda at this time? Nope. All right. So, action items 2.01 through 2.16. Do I have a motion? Ms. Dickman, second. Dr. Nick Pond. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against? Any abstentions? All right. Thank you all very much. Six 6.01 board member comments. Are there any board member comments at this time? Okay. 7.01 public participation. This is public participation on any district related matters. If there is something you wish to speak about regarding the district, please approach the podium. Please address all concerns to the board. Please keep comments to 3 minutes, and please do not address any specific students or faculty by name. And please just say who you are. Thank you.
Hi. Hello, everybody. My name is Laura Sullivan. I have actually lived in this school district my entire life, and I graduated from Suffern. I'm here today as a parent of a student that attends Montebello Elementary School. He is in the therapeutic support class. I can't speak enough as to how this class has helped to not only meet his academic needs, but his social and emotional needs as well. It's an amazing program. So on that note, I'd like to discuss special education going forward in our district. So when we first had a meeting on June 6th, we discussed the restructuring of schools. I stood up and I kindly asked for special education not to be an afterthought. On October 19th, we received a correspondence in an email to the district. It was titled Elementary School Sections per Grade, and it detailed the number of sections at each grade level in each school this year and how it would look next year going forward. As I mentioned, my son is in a class at Montebello, but his class was not mentioned in here. And it actually did not mention any special ed or self-contained classroom. And I was just wondering why. Now, to kind of go on that, communication is keynote. So my husband and I emailed on October 24th. We emailed the leadership team these questions. And then we had a board meeting. And I felt as if there was a lot of educational jargon thrown around to answer these questions without really answering these questions at all. But you did say that all students would get what they need and it would be offered in their home school. And I'll get to the homeschool next. But now it's February 6th, and I'm questioning how Suffern will give my child and other students with IEPs what they need. The special ed parents have not really received any correspondence outlining special education programming next year. I did speak with a director of special ed. I'm sure I should probably not mention her name, but to find out what was going on and the options available for next year. And if I didn't, I would still be in the dark with the remainder of the population who is waiting and trusting in their district to give students what they need. After my conversation, I was shocked to find out that my son's therapeutic support program would no longer be offered next year. But instead, children with varying needs would now be put together in their home school, and they would try to group like students together in a self-contained special ed class. So my question is, why are we eliminating this therapeutic support program? And why were we as a district not informed? Why are all stakeholders not being informed of this change, especially the parents? In my opinion, I feel as if this district has been less than transparent regarding program changes. Parents should not have to wait to find out that their child's program will not be offered at an annual review meeting. We deserve equitable access to the information. Is everything okay? Can I continue?
Well, yeah, just trying to be cognizant of time. That's all.
No problem. I would also like to cycle back to the homeschool dilemma for some of our special education kids, especially mine. When you take an anxious, routine-driven child like my son and ask him to go to a whole new school, you're setting him up for regression. His homeschool is Cherry Lane. And I'm sure other parents in this situation might feel the same if they knew the information. Montebello is his homeschool, and his cohort of kids that he mainstreams with, those are his friends, and they have been for 3 years. So I'm asking you to please take this into consideration and please consider keeping the special education program that we have in place right now, because it works so well, it's individualized, and it serves the populations of students. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers at this time? Hello, my name is Jason Andrew. I've got elementary school age children at RP Connor. And just to kind of reiterate, it's more the communication that I'm concerned with. You've spent a third of the time that you've had 9 months to prepare and implement this change. And aside from being told to refer back to the website, this is the first update that we've had of substantive matter. So giving us more is going to help us go through this process. It was really helpful to hear that you have a group of teachers you're working with, and I want to hope that you continue either making that a priority to have a group of teachers that you're working with consistently, because they're going to be the boots on the ground once this starts in September, and to get that feedback from them. I don't know if you're going to have a consistent group that you had previously or a new subset, but so that you can get that boots on the ground feedback from teachers and kind of be able to use that in real time, because this change will happen quickly and there'll be a lot of decisions and a lot of things that need to be addressed, and they're going to be the ones who see it first, and it's important that you have that avenue as well. So I'm glad that it exists now, and I hope that you consider a way to help that continue, especially in September, and to really help that feed through administration so that informs in real time the decisions that are going to be happening. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alexandria Bowens. I actually am a grandmother of students in the district, one of which I'm the legal guardian of. And Noah, who I'm the guardian of, is actually in the foundations program at Cherry Lane. And it's a wonderful program, just like the one at Montebello. It suits a certain student type. And, you know, I also learned in the parent-teacher conference this past week that that program will no longer exist. And I think as special education parents and guardians, we're very dismayed at the fact that these programs that have done so well by our children are now being disbanded and formed into a homeschool-based program, gathering different kids from each of these programs and putting them in one single classroom. So I would suggest that a meeting be held with us special education parents to bring us up to speed on exactly what the plans are for our children in this new restructuring plan. And then I also just want to footnote that I have, like I said, I have 2 grandchildren. The other one is in the Heroes in Cool Cool Kids program, which is also a wonderful program, and I can't say enough about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers?
Hello, my name is Bonnie Getz. I wasn't planning to speak, but I feel the need. I'm from the Jewish Orthodox community, and we decided to send our children to the incredible Suffern Central public school system because of the support of the special needs children. I, in particular, have very unique children, very out-of-the-box children who need to be supported in their gifts and in their challenges. They're gifted with learning disabilities. They're called twice exceptional, and they are very few children who can be addressed and supported sufficiently. I have a particular child both children actually, who are having, if they do not get supported, they will have school refusal. Most of these children need to be homeschooled because they cannot be supported in a school system. But Suffern Central has supported them, and they've thrived. I am highly disappointed that you are closing the therapeutic support program. It has supported my son, who used to, forgive me, throw up daily, to the point that he is verbal, communicating, happy, and that is because of the support of the therapeutic program. They're incredibly dedicated, loving teachers. Each program was specific to the children's needs, and that is why we decided to embark in the public school. My oldest child is in the BOCES program at the high school. We have gone through a minimum of 6 different school placements to find ourselves thriving in this program. I urge you and request that you reconsider your plans for the elementary therapeutic support programs. They are individualized. They're helping specific populations. My child, who is in 1st grade, is now attending a 2nd, 3rd grade class. I don't know what will be next year, where he should go. K through 2 or 3 through 5? Should he be with nonverbal kids? He's reading at a 4th, 5th grade level. Please consider what's most appropriate for each child. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers? No? Okay. Then we're going to close this portion of the meeting. Thank you to everybody who chose to speak tonight. 8.01, Superintendent closing comments.
Yes, thank you very much. Ms. Sullivan, Ms. Bowens, and Ms. Getz, you can be assured that I'll be reaching out to you tomorrow to learn more about what's being communicated to you and to make sure that I'm understanding what's being conveyed to you so I can have a clearer understanding so we can address the concerns that you have. The model for next year is very much to address the individual needs of the students that are in each of these programs. And we are certainly, all the teachers are going to be remaining here in Suffern Central, and we've set up programs so that they are going to be getting the same type of service and support that they are getting right now. So I'm not saying that what you're conveying to me is not true. I just want to learn more about the message that's being sent to you, because perhaps here from central office, we're not engaging in the proper amount of dialogue between our teachers who are meeting with you and ourselves. So I will be looking into that. Please know that we are absolutely committed to our special needs population. We want to make sure that they continue to thrive at even higher levels next year. Appreciate also the comments about information coming out right now. Admittedly, we have not had a regular meeting since December, so this is really our first opportunity in public to share this information, and the public can not only expect to see that correspondence via email and direct mailing tomorrow, but you'll be seeing additional correspondence with additional information, including teachers and special education teachers on February 16th. with more information to come about the spring events and about how we are working to transition families to the concept of this new and quite frankly exciting elementary educational model. So I will certainly reach out to those folks that I mentioned, and I appreciate your comments this evening. This concludes my superintendent's report.
Thank you very much. All right. At this time, we will make a motion to adjourn. And before we do, we'll just say that our next meeting will be here in Holborn. It will be on Wednesday, February 22nd. Just a reminder that we do have a small Wednesday the 21st. Wednesday the 22nd is the blood drive. Wednesday the 21st. So our next meeting here in Holborn, and we are going to have a little President's Day break, so everybody is going to have a couple days off that Monday and Tuesday, so that's why we'll be meeting here on Wednesday. And wish everybody a nice couple of weeks. Enjoy your time off, and do I have a motion to adjourn? Ms. Dickman, second. Mrs. Hodge, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you all very much. This meeting is adjourned. We will see you on the 21st.